much same thing happened with him.
I mean,
but I think Lovey got dealt a bad hand by them making him keep Jay Cutler. He didn't want Jay Cutler years before they actually got rid of him.
listen, man.
And that's what got him fired.
Jay Cutler should never be Jay Cutler, and we can talk about this because, like, all right. So let's just get into it. Carson Wentz, man. Like, when are we gonna just go ahead and say he don't need to be nobody's starting quarterback?
I feel like his time is past. You know, he had his moment and he got hurt. He was having an MVP caliber season. And, you know, as we know, he went down. Nick Foles went on and led his team to a Super Bowl. And he never recovered. I don't think he recovered physically or mentally.
There's a couple quarterbacks that I put in that same category. Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins, Kirk Cuzzo. Like, why we keep inviting him to the barbecue, man? Why? Why do we keep paying this man and he does absolutely average? He ain't a bad quarterback. He ain't a good quarterback. He just average. And they consider Washington, every time Daniel Snyder see Kirk Cousins, he should fight him on the street. Because he robbed that man with no playoff, like not one playoff game.
Yep. This is fact.
So them two quarterbacks, I just feel like, so for years, we couldn't get our homeboy back in the league because, you know, he had an afro. They ain't really want to support Black Lives Matter. But Kirk Cousins, we can pay him $100 million over 3 years. Cool. Would never sign him to a long-term deal, but would keep franchising him. I don't think that franchise is going to recover from that for another 2 years.
Talk about Washington?
Yeah, they still looking for a quarterback.
I mean, if they can pretty much hit a home run, like a blind home run and get them a quarterback, then they'll be good because they have a very good defensive line. And if you build your team around a defensive line, we've seen the Giants win a Super Bowl that way with Michael Strahan, OC, JPP. You know, they had pieces that were in a position where the quarterback didn't have to go win the game.
Yeah.
But in the case where they brought in Eli, they actually had a quarterback that could make the plays in the fourth quarter. You know, some people say he got lucky, probably did, but you know, their defense is what put them in that position to even have the opportunity to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, people can call that man lucky all they want to. All I know is he beat Tom Brady.
He did beat Tom Brady
twice. So all that GOAT talk, stop it. Stop. Joe Montana. I'll take this. If you say Warren Moon, because he got 5 straight Grey Cups. If you say Joe Montana, I'll go ahead and say those are the GOATs. My thing is I keep hearing this, well, you can't make him the GOAT because of a team game. You take the best player from each team, which is usually, or the best profile player from each team, which is usually the quarterback, and you always assign him the victory because when it comes to the fourth quarter, Joe Montana is like, look, we scoring touchdowns. We ain't kicking no field goals.
Right.
I can't, what can I do with that? I can't do any of the problems that I have with Tom Brady has more to do with Bill Belichick than Tom Brady. Tom Brady might have had the opportunity to beat the GOAT, but the problem is he had the monsters. It's the same thing with LeBron James. LeBron James lost to the Dallas Mavericks. That is the albatross around his neck. Losing to Eli Manning when he had Wes Welker, Randy Moss. He had a whole goon squad. They could do anything they wanted. That defense slowed them down, and Eli scored a touchdown. That's it.
Oh, Birds.
That's it. So, no, you can't be the GOAT with that. Yeah. So, I mean, you can't, I can't do anything with that.
So the thing about Tom Brady is he was put in a very, very good situation for you. So you have a defensive-minded coach that allows the quarterback to be involved in the coaching decisions. He has the accuracy that you would need from a quarterback. He just doesn't have the mobility, but he does have the knowledge to be able to move around in the pocket to make plays, extend plays here and there, not take certain sacks, not make certain throws. And I feel like if you don't lose your team the game, you already winning half the battle as a quarterback.
Yep.
So for you to be able to say that he's in a position to go down, win the game at the end, and that is his legacy, then I have to say that he would go because he's done it so many times.
Yeah.
You know, can you win them all? No, you can't win them all. If Michael Jordan would have went to 12 NBA finals and he lost 2, would you say that he's not the GOAT because he lost 2? Like, no. You can't win every time you
go. I will agree with that. The difference in the NBA is that it's only a few people over the course of the NBA history that's been to 4+ championships. It's only a few of them. And the reason that Michael Jordan will forever be like, my dad used to tell me all the time, like Kareem was unstoppable. Like you couldn't do nothing with Kareem. Well, Kareem had to deal with them Celtics. So had Kareem beat them Celtics every time, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Like this ain't even on Michael Jordan. Kareem, like if we just looking at a player that can get buckets, can't nobody stop that sky hook. Can't nobody stop it. But Kareem had some injuries. Oh, here go Marlo right here. Kareem had some injuries. And so that allowed Boston to get their foothold the way it is. But and I don't want to make this LeBron thing, but I'm just saying my whole thing has always been that
Joe Montana never
not only Joe Montana never lost, people don't realize that Joe Montana had a mod squad of himself when he went to a Super Bowl. He had John Taylor, he had Jerry Rice, he had Tom Rathman. Like he had a few people. What's happening? What's happening? Why are people calling me during the podcast? Why? I don't understand why y'all calling me.
So here's the thing about Joe Montana, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did Steve Young not come and win a Super Bowl with that same team?
He did. Joe Montana, like what people don't realize is that everybody kept thinking that Joe Montana was a statue. Montana was not a statue.
He wasn't a statue, not by any means.
Oval in that pocket. Joe Montana would scramble around in the pocket, buy time, and then find him a dot. Steve Young, when Joe Montana got hurt, please understand, we ain't talking about if Steve Young was just no backup scrub. Steve Young came from another league where he was the highest paid player in that other league. He went to the Buccaneers, and we can blame the Bucs.
Oh, they fumbled.
We can blame the Bucs for Steve Young winning the Super Bowl, which started that whole Doug Williams.
First of all, you might want to put some respect on our name when you say the Bucs. You need to say Super Bowl.
I'm gonna need you to get on the Wi-Fi, homie. I'm gonna need you to get on the Wi-Fi.
Let me get on Wi-Fi real quick.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're still breaking up a little bit. Fans, we finna hear about Marlo Bucs. He gonna tell us that the Bucs going to the Super Bowl yet again. So I just want y'all to be prepared for that.
I mean, they have a very good chance of going. They got what you need to get to the Super Bowl.
But if you say it 15 years in a row, that don't make you Nostradamus.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to make sure you put some respect on our name. You see what I'm rocking today?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Let's see. I don't even know if you can see the back. Let me see. You can see the back.
All right. Full disclosure, I went with my homie to the game. You know, full disclosure, so we can get that on out the way. It was some good food. I ain't gonna lie. They was basically playing some handicapped kids. I was waiting on the JV squad. I was waiting on the JV squad to show up.
That's how you gonna do it.
But since we talking about your Bucs,
let's talk about them. Let's get into it.
I hope all the stress that AB gave us, he gave y'all. Like y'all get everything you deserve.
We did. We got a Super Bowl. Thank you, AB.
we talking about your Bucs. Since we
Yes,
talking
sir.
about
Let's
your
talk
Bucs,
about them. Let's get into it.
I hope all the stress that AB gave us, he gave y'all. Like
give us
y'all
what?
just y'all get everything you deserve.
We did. We got a Super Bowl. Thank you, AB.
Y'all got
a Super Bowl, right?
stop. Hold on, stop this. Y'all got a Super Bowl because the little skinny white boy run a 4.240 and got loose against the Green Bay Packers. You need to stop doing that. Put some respect on Scotty Miller name.
Did we or did we not win a Super Bowl with AB?
Man,
I just need a yes or no answer, sir.
Oh my God, you acting like Scott? Like, please act like Scotty Miller was actually the reason that y'all had that lead going into halftime.
I don't understand why people don't know how to answer questions. It was a yes or no question. Did we or did we not?
Y'all won. Y'all got y'all a Super Bowl.
Was Antonio Brown on the team?
Yes, he was.
Did he not contribute to our Super Bowl?
Yes, he did.
So we got a Super Bowl from Antonio Brown. So I don't even know why we still having this conversation, sir.
Hey, y'all, watch how I take a shot at Tom Brady. But Tom Brady has not done more for the Bucs franchise than Brad Johnson has.
Really?
Don't that great Seminole got a Super Bowl?
He led the league in touchdowns, passing yards.
Don't he got a Super Bowl? Does he have a Super Bowl? Matter of fact, he got y'all first Super Bowl.
Okay, he froze.
Why am I freezing? Oh Lord, we're gonna edit that out.
But like I said, did Brad Johnson ever lead the league in touchdowns or passing yards?
I do not think so.
He did not.
Oh, okay. I thought we was just talking on fact. That's all.
You know what? Again, I just want to point out who got y'all first Super Bowl, and we can move on. We can move on because we got other stuff to talk about. We got other stuff to talk about. And since you know what, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Since you are the resident HBC.
First of all, was Brad Johnson the MVP of the Super Bowl?
No,
he was not.
Okay, was Tom Brady?
Tom Brady could throw for 2 yards. They're gonna automatically make him the MVP of the Super Bowl. Don't do that.
We are answering questions, sir.
All right. Okay. When it's my turn, I want you to answer my question too. Yeah, he's the MVP. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl. Go ahead.
And Brad Johnson was not.
All right.
So did they not give the MVP to a defensive player who was a safety when Brad Johnson was the quarterback?
The Dallas Cowboys also had an MVP that played safety that the Raiders paid too much money for.
Question, sir.
Sure, absolutely. They made a defensive player the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Right. So we cannot say Brad Johnson did more.
Pick six?
Yeah. But we cannot say Brad Johnson did more as a quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers than Tom Brady.
I wouldn't agree with that.
I'm gonna let y'all have that one, but Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. So, Mr. Resident HBCU man.
Whoop, whoop.
So I just I would like to congratulate Primetime.
For what? He ain't won nothing.
For fucking my Seminoles over the way he did.
Oh my God.
And everybody who does not know, again. No, I'm not mad about that. That's a good thing. I'll get to that in a second. But for everybody that don't know, I'm a Seminole. I'm a diehard Seminole. And I had said that the current coach should be fired based on his season performance. But
they gave him an extension, though.
They gave him a 1-year extension.
Just Miss Bowden.
Because he got the complexion for the connection.
Based on him having the #1 recruit in the nation.
That ain't what that was based on, brother.
But at the end of the day, recruit don't mean nothing though.
Yeah,
that part.
They gave him the extension because he has the complexion for the connection. When you lose more games than your predecessor, who got fired for you, you don't get an extension. So I think Florida State, they get what they deserve.
You see why I ain't mad? You see what
They're
I
gonna
mean?
have a
They should have
they're
hired
gonna have
Dion.
a they're gonna have a losing season for several years, sir.
So I don't. Nobody won't take this bet, and it's because of two things. One, Prime absolutely got demolished in the Black National Championship game. Um,
Oh,
he got
it's
demolished.
it's
But they
HBCU
didn't think
football.
that he would make it that far.
Yeah,
I agree,
and he
but
wasn't supposed to.
he's doing something that nobody else has been able to do, and I feel like he can consistently do that anywhere he goes because he doesn't. He don't. I mean, a top 50 class at an HBCU top 50 never been done.
Actually, it
But
had.
don't you think the HBCUs kind of need more like him instead of him going just to where
I'm
where the non-diversity has been in effect for most of our generation?
I'm gonna challenge Troy on that notion. You said the top 50 class has never been done at HBCU,
Since they've been
and
calculating it.
I was
Calculating
gonna
it.
say that is
We
an
already
incorrect
know
statement
because the
because
78
we
FAMU
were
squad.
not allowed at some of these universities.
Oh yeah.
At one point, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
But
point to the
since we
78
have
FAMU
been
squad.
allowed at these universities, the HBCUs have kind of, they fallen by the wayside talent-wise because the talent is going to go where the money is. And it ain't enough money being poured into the HBCU, so the players don't want to go there. They're not going to get that same exposure. They're trying to get to the league. And ain't nobody saying, hey, go to Grambling State, you're going to get to the league. They're saying go to Miami, go to Alabama, go to Ohio State.
No.
Those are the colleges that are being promoted as to getting you to the league. So that's where the top players are going to go.
Well, that's what the media shows. But I'm being from an HBCU, I will put our talent base up against just about any university in the country.
I would say this.
It's skill positions and facilities.
Yeah.
Is where, because I know from my school we have 3 people with Super Bowl rings that went to FAM that I know personally. I know one individual who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers who led the league in tackles.
Yeah.
Earl Holmes, who my homeboy, who I just finished chopping it up on New Year's at his house with a party. So it's not that we don't get the talent. Our talent just isn't advertised as if a Florida State or a Miami or Florida. We get talent.
Well, that just changed this year.
Talented as it is, though.
That ain't just changed this year. Earl Holmes played with me. Terry Mickens played with me.
Yeah.
Willie played with me. Jamie Nails played with me. I can keep going. Like these cats I know.
Yeah.
That did it on the highest level and excelled in the league.
What I find relatively interesting is that we are now in the perfect storm where NIL has leveled the playing field. The marketing power of Dion.
Yes.
If I'm gonna sit here and say this, and y'all better pay attention. It ain't just gonna be just Prime. Because if you pay attention, Eddie George is making some noise quietly where he is too. So it's gonna get real serious, and it's a lot of former NFL players saying, you know what? If I go to a black HBCU and or a black school and tell these kids, look, I can show you how to get to the league. I can show you how to get paid right now. It is going to be a major, major shakeup in a lot of these schools.
That sounds real good, but you're forgetting about the actual coaching. Willie is doing it on a high level in Tallahassee, bro.
I know.
He is doing, and he's probably gonna get one of the top 5 running backs in the country to come to FAM. He's already been up. He already been on the yard. He's up. Yeah, we about that life, and we got probably about 3 people that's gonna be drafted from Little FAMU. So we looking good over here.
I mean, like I said, so there's only probably, I got a fuck you list And TP, you're about to get introduced to the fuck you list.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's Tom Brady,
Hater.
Jimbo Fisher,
That's a whole lot. Well, I'm with you on that Jimbo list. Fuck him.
Mike Norvell,
You. First of all, we ain't supposed to be cousins. I don't think. But fuck him anyway.
Mike Norvell. And so
That's your coach, bro.
I don't fuck with him. If the AD gets on national TV and says 6-6 is not good enough, why the fuck a coach has a losing season the very next 2 years and he's supposed to be my homeboy? Fuck that dude. I hope he get hit by a Nerf bus. Fuck that. I hope he get hit by a
the
real
AD
bus.
still, first of all,
Could I add to this list? Can we please throw Bill O'Brien on this list?
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
Can we please throw Bill O'Brien on the list?
So how you trade a number one all-star wide receiver and give a
picks and a bag of chips?
Oh man. Oh
Some
man.
bum ass running back who didn't last 2 seasons.
Did he make it 5 games?
Yeah. Bruh, no. David Johnson, he stayed hurt in Arizona. That's why they were so, take him. You could have him.
Yeah. But, Arizona reaping the fruits of that label.
I got them a nice little playoff berth. They finna get their ass waxed because they ain't got no offensive line, but, we're going to see.
All I'm going to say
all
is this.
Kyler Murray has to do is get the ball out in 3 seconds.
Hey, Kyler Murray gonna be running for his life. If they make it anywhere, he gonna be running for his life the whole time.
Yeah.
I ain't seen him block really nobody all year. It's been his legs. If he couldn't run, they would have 2 wins.
Well, he's a difference maker.
He is.
He is a difference maker.
Oh, kind of like Carr, huh? He's a game changer, huh?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. What the fuck?
Actually, I'm gonna give Carr his flowers right now. If he was not their quarterback, Las Vegas Raiders would probably be a 4-win team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went.
Hold on. I got to in the 4th quarter only. Zay Jones. Zay Jones.
Right. When I'm telling you, if their Carr is not their quarterback, because he's a coach on the field.
Oh yeah.
He's been in that system so long, he knows what play should be ran. He get him out of bad situations all the time.
He's been in it so long, he ain't even need the coach. They
exactly. Without the coach.
With Root go. So explain that.
He a coach on the field. If he was not their coach, they might win 4 games. And that's only because they defense.
So, since we're talking about that game, Marlo, TP, if you the Chargers players, can the coach come in the locker room after he called that timeout?
Actually, he should get fired. Yeah. I'm just saying. I seen look at Miami. That coach got fired for having 3 winning seasons in a row, and he get fired. Best believe whoever pick him, whoever get him, they get in the gym because the man can coach.
Yeah. And 2 ain't it, man. 2 ain't it.
And it's hard not to ignore the fact that he's black.
Yeah. It's the only reason.
Because I've seen white coaches, win less, do less, and still keep their job. Bill O'Brien stayed in Texas for how long?
Well, shit. Look at John Gruden. Even before this year, he ain't win nothing. Got rid of the best player on their team. Best players on their team. They went in and got $100 million contract.
How do you trade a Hall of Fame?
They went and dug up some emails on this man because they couldn't just outright fire. They've been knew this shit. They've been knew everything that had been going on.
Oh yeah.
They turn a blind eye to stuff that they don't really care about.
Absolutely.
Until they
Absolutely.
want to care about it.
Yeah.
And then they'll use that as a reason. Oh, he's saying this and this. Yeah, he's gone. Meanwhile, they didn't want him to begin with.
Because he was a bum. His brother a bum. He a bum.
The
Now,
Super Bowl ring that he won with the Buccaneers, there will always be an asterisk by it because he didn't build
Tony Dungy's team.
That was Tony Dungy's team.
Yeah.
Well,
actually, when he won it, he gave credit to Tony Dungy.
Right. Tony Dungy's defense won that Super Bowl. Like you said, the MVP was a safety. And look, the safety wasn't even the best player on the defense. He probably was 6 or 7 best.
He just got the highlight plays.
He made the plays. You get a pick 6 in the Super Bowl, you come back, catch another pick, then a forced fumble. He was everywhere. Because they were too busy worried about Rondé Barber, Derek, John Lynch. Like, there's a lot of names on that defense.
They had a lot to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank God it's playoffs. We got another slate of games next week. But so we touched on this last season, Marlo, about Ben Simmons.
Oh my God.
And I'm trying to figure out for the life of me. All right. And I get there's a collective bargaining agreement. I understand all of this, but if I got $90 million wrapped up in a basketball player, and he says he has emotional issues and mental health issues. First off, mental health is not a game. Let's just be clear on that. So if he's having mental health issues, this now falls to his agent and his supporting group. If the team is saying, hey, we need him to meet with our psychologist or our medical staff, this isn't like the NBA isn't a entity where a player is rich for the moment. He is changing the lives of a generation of his family members. So it would behoove whoever is in the administration of his team to be like, hey, dude, we just need you to go to this doctor. I ain't going is not an option because your failure affects 20 to 100 to 200 people. You need to go get checked out.
I feel like as an organization that's investing so much money into a person, they have the right to request them to go see a counselor. Because if we want and need you to be at a certain, we're paying.
My thing is, if it's not in the contract,
play the game, and if you can't play the game,
that's something that
get you help. Yeah. But if you're refusing to help, then you're basically refusing your paycheck at that point.
Yeah, that's why whoever wrote that contract, if that's not in as a part of his contract, then that's on them.
Oh, it is.
He can
chuck
up the middle finger. So if it's in his contract and he refused to, then he refused to get paid.
Exactly.
My issue with Ben Simmons is that it was all this tough guy rah talk about I ain't coming there no more, like trade me, get me out of here, whatever the case may be. It was a lot of rah. And then when they started talking about, well, if you don't show up, you ain't getting paid. Oh, he there. He's there.
Yeah.
His agent made sure he's there. Well, if your agent can make sure you're there to get paid, your agent can make sure you're there to get the help that the team needs to see you might need. Now, if there is no mental health issues or you just playing this game, they need to find your life away. They need to find a way to cut you and get rid of you because there are players who play through mental health issues at the detriment to their own health and bodies, and you're not doing them any service by playing these games. Like that bothers me really. Like that's just something that just bothers me that you're taking advantage of something that people need.
You playing games when there's people actually out here struggling with clinical depression, bipolar, multi-personality disorder. There's so many things that people deal with PTSD. I was in the military for 11 years, so I know a lot of people that deal with that type of issue, and that is no joke. And for somebody to try to use that because they don't want to do their job, it's disrespectful to anybody that does have those
Well, my feeling about the whole situation is you are paid a king's ransom amount of money to play a sport.
issues. Right.
You're not out there on no battlefield. You're not out there making decisions that's saving lives. You're not even in the medical field. You are paid a king's ransom to put a ball through a hoop.
Can't
Now,
do
I'm
that.
not minimizing the importance of sports because I do think it has its place. But in the grand scheme of things, when it comes down to whether you feel like playing and not feel like playing, you holding the whole community hostage because your decision to be who you are is not just affecting that team on the court. It's everything that's around that community. Like everybody is trying to freaking cater to you and you giving them your butt to kiss. Like you got kids that are looking up to you and the next generation coming up will have that mindset, well hell, if I get disgruntled, I ain't gotta do what I just hold them hostage. Basically what he doing. He
I think
holding.
I think LeBron said it the best. He said we may not intend to be role models, but that's ultimately what it turns out to be. And if we're given a bad image, then that's how it's going to be perceived. There's
Yeah.
no way that you can be on TV, playing 82 games a season, making commercials, doing whatever, and you not end up being somebody role model. There's no way.
Or somebody just even if it's not a role model status, somebody looking up to you.
Right. But you think about all those little kids that begged their parents for a Ben Simmons jersey when he got drafted. Now it's looking like parents are wasting their money on this man's jersey. He don't want to be there. He's showing my kids what I don't want them to see.
Right.
If
And
I don't want to work, then I ain't gonna work, even though I'm
even
supposed to do it.
even to go deeper than that, for him not wanting to get the help that he may need, he might be pushing that on another talent that says, well, hell, if you do have an issue, you don't have to get no help
Right.
because you don't want to. Like the team can't make you do it. Like it's not even about the team. It's about you and getting some help if you need it. Now, if you don't and you just over there snowing people, then you're gonna get what you're gonna get.
Right.
Like them chickens will come home to roost if
Oh
you
yeah,
over there just
you
playing the
reap what
game.
you sow.
Yeah, you gonna reap what you sow.
100%.
But if you seriously need some help and you're refusing help, come on, man. You can't let that
Do you
image
really
go
have
out to
a?
the
My
kids.
my question is, do you really have an issue?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So
So I think it's deep in the rap.
all right. So me and TP been talking about this, and I kind of talked about this a little bit on Facebook. So my homegirl went on a flight, and apparently the pilot said that they, hey, how you doing, Miss Lady? You doing well this evening?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
So we were just talking about your airline flight episode where the oil light came on.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of got personally offended because I feel like if I'm gonna get on your plane, the least you could do before I show up to the airport is make sure that the oil is fixed. Now, TP,
Right.
well, let you go ahead and explain it to us so we can get an understanding of what happened.
Okay, so basically, when I got to the airport, we were getting ready to board, and they made an announcement that the plane just found out that the plane needed an oil change. And so we had to basically delay our flight until they changed the oil in the plane.
Um,
So, so I can explain how that could happen. Like I said, my job in the military was to work on airplanes, and I was a lead mechanic. And what would end up happening is with the flight hour program, there's a certain amount of flight hours that you're supposed to do certain things. If the plane hit those hours while in flight, when it landed, that's when they needed to go ahead and do it. But if you got people not doing their job and not paying attention to it, they let it go too long because you're really supposed to catch it before it takes that last flight. Because now you're exceeding the hours. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know that it's gonna exceed its hours, then that plane should never have taken off the flight before without the oil change.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was laughing.
Yeah,
Because
somebody messed up. I ain't denying that, but I understand that it is an issue, but it's not something that's gonna be a detriment to the plane after the oil change. Like it wouldn't scare me to get off the plane if they said they needed to do oil change on it because I understand what that entails. It's really just them draining the oil and putting more oil in. It really doesn't even take that long. I did it a million times.
like I'm just me as a layman, I just can't see nobody under there removing the nut, the
That's not how
plug
you
nut,
do it.
sitting there with a 55-gallon drum bucket,
That's not how you
wait for
do
all
it.
the wait for all the oil. to come out.
It's actually
Like,
a really easy process. There's a it's a coupling. One coupling goes on this side, the other coupling goes on that side. You press the button, it drains it, and then refills it. That's all it is. There ain't no nut. There ain't nothing else you got to do. You ain't got to unscrew nothing. You don't need no drip pan.
yeah, see that's
It ain't none of that.
see they should have came over there and been clear about it. Well, this is not just an oil change. This is you got to be a little more
That's
descriptive. Because
but
me,
that's
as a
what it is
customer,
though. That's what it is. They hook two hoses up to the oil tank. One drains it, the other one refills it. There's a little sight
but they
glass
can,
when it's
but they
full.
can't do it at me, just me and me. How I think, I was like, they got the coupling in. Like they're not gonna drain it all out before they put new in. So they just mix it old and new.
No, they drain
Or
it.
like,
The,
or
the
like the
machine
new
won't the
push it.
machine won't fill it until it's in.
okay.
Uh,
But I
see,
want to know.
they
I
should
just
have
want.
came on there and explained that.
Somebody messed up. They wasn't keeping track of the flight hours on the plane.
I just want to know who's gonna tell Mr. White that he can't get on his flight because they got to change the oil. Because my first comment is, so you mean all this time y'all could have stopped at Jiffy Lube, but y'all just decided to come straight to the airport? That's what I want to know. That's all I need to know.
First of all, if I'm on a flight that stopped at Jiffy Lube, I'm no longer on that flight.
Never get on that flight. Why we
Jiffy Lube, Jiffy Lube can't change the oil on my planes that I get on. Now Jiffy Lube is probably a really good company, and they probably do some outstanding work on cars and trucks. But I ain't never heard nobody talk about Jiffy Lube with no airplane.
I'm just saying, dude, you can't. There has to be a different verbiage that you're gonna have to give me. There's some plane maintenance we need to do right quick. Like oil
See,
change should never be something that is said to
that's
Troy.
probably what should have been said. There's some maintenance that need to take place on the plane that needs to happen before y'all board.
And I would
That's
every,
probably what they.
there's two ways of looking at it. There's too much information, then there's not enough. If you say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we got some maintenance now," what's going on? Why we got maintenance? Can I get on a different plane? But if you tell me, "Oh, we just got to do an oil change," me understanding what that means for an airplane, now I feel secure because I know what y'all doing. So
That's
it's
you.
kind of a double-edged sword when you think about it.
yeah,
Well, I can tell you they could have added one word in that maintenance thing that would have probably night quelled all that. Routine maintenance.
yep,
We just had to do some routine maintenance on this plane, and y'all could board shortly.
yep, that
That would have
right
killed
up.
the whole thing.
Yep.
I mean, but that's literally what it is, though. It's routine maintenance. When we
Routine
sign it off in
maintenance.
the aircraft form, you sign it under routine maintenance.
There you go.
It's literally what it is.
And see, whoever said oil change, they should be fired.
Yeah.
I would go necessarily just fire the person.
They need to be
But
fired.
He need to be fired or
reprimand,
fired on, like either one.
reprimanded, some remedial training on how to deliver messages. Like,
Yeah, because that was horrible. Because first of all, you're not gonna tell me, oh, we getting on the plane. Oh no, y'all got to get off the plane because the oil light came on. What? What? Y'all plane got oil lights like that?
it does.
Like,
But
I understand me as a layman.
But here's the thing: the oil light can mean one of. Usually, if your oil light come on, that don't mean that your plane needs an oil change. It means it ain't enough oil in the jet.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait.
That's
Okay.
why oil light would come on. Oil
That's
light
pretty much.
because the jet,
That's pretty much worse.
because the plane burns oil when it's flying. If your oil light comes on, that means that you don't have enough oil. I had when I got to Korea, I remember it was my second week there, and my jet took off, and I'm getting ready to try to eat lunch while my jet's in the air because they only fly for an hour and a half. I work on fighter. So I'm going to get my lunch, and next thing I know, my expediter pulls up in the truck. Hey, you need to get back to your spot. Your jet's coming back. Your jet's coming back. I was like, well, what happened? What happened? He said, had an emergency landing. He's coming back. Come to find out, they didn't service enough oil in the jet. So when the jet took off, he got a low lube light, which is low oil. He had to drop his wing tanks in the ocean and turn around and land because they can't land with all the fuel that they need to take off.
Wow.
Drop each one of those fuel tanks costs $200,000. Each one, full to the brim with gas. They had to drop them, all because somebody didn't do their job and service the oil. But that's why oil light would come on.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in a plane with no oil. I promise.
I'm sure.
I promise. It's the last thing you want.
All right. So we touched on a few sports, and we don't normally get to tennis, Marlo, but your boy Djokovic, he over there playing with the Australians, and the Australians don't really play like that. Like
Idiot.
They told you before you came over there, yeah, you need to be vaccinated. He's like, oh no, I got an exemption. And he went anyway. And then they made him sit in the airport to let him know that they were serious.
No, he's an idiot.
And that
I don't even know why this is even a story. Because first of all, let one of us go over there claiming we ain't vaccinated, but we got an exemption, and try to play in a nationally televised tennis tournament. And had he not been Djokovic, he'd probably be in jail.
I would agree.
Now he's running the risk. If he gets expelled from the country, he can't go back to Australia for 3 years. So he's an idiot. Why? First of all, you already had COVID. So that's your exemption. Oh, I already had it. So, since I got it, I already got it. Come on, bro. You finna put other
So he didn't call ahead?
Oh no. This is what he did.
He didn't call ahead. You just show up.
He got with his embassy and was like, hey, can y'all get me an exemption to play in this match? They're like, sure, no problem. The Australians will listen to us. First off, what they left out was that Australian kids can't play in any sports without being vaccinated. Now you're going to go into their country where these people are angry and violent all the time anyway, and you're going to play a sport that their kids can't play without being vaccinated on national TV, on worldwide TV, and basically spit in these people's face. So they got politicians on TV talking about, yeah, my constituents don't like that. We can't let him play. Dude, you're not playing.
First of all, it ain't even about the kids. If it was about the kids, he would it wouldn't even be a story if it was just about the kids. It's about the adults over there that said, well, shit, this is a pandemic. Everybody else is following the rules. What makes you better?
What makes you so special that you
It ain't
come
got
over here?
nothing to do with these kids.
That's what I was thinking though. Like, and like you said, he shows up anyway without the approval from the country, claiming to have an exemption that was never given to him by that country. Is invalid.
This is the worst part about it. He showed up a couple weeks early. French Open ain't even start yet. This fool is in Australia early and finna get kicked out the country.
If fuck you was a person, he would be Djokovic. He would definitely be Djokovic. But fellas, Marlo, and I know you got something you want. I know you got something you want to say. It's season 6. Whatever you got to say, go ahead and get it out of your chest because you know what I'm gonna say. Oh, here we go.
Just want y'all to know. Y'all see it. That's how we running it. Like, y'all had your opportunity. Y'all did. Y'all played well this season. That was good. But it's playoff time. We got playoff time in the building. Just want y'all to know. So let me just let y'all know how we getting it in. The Rams hurt the NFL season. The Rams did that to the NFL. Because had they won that game, we wouldn't be the number 2 seed. And we wouldn't have 2 home games. And if Green Bay lose, NFC got to go through Tampa. So let me tell y'all folks. Can you smell what the Bay is cooking? Can you? Y'all smell it. Y'all smell like some blue crabs with that Old Bay season, a little extra spice, a little garlic butter. Y'all smell what the Bay is cooking.
Nobody ever said Tom Brady had no spice. Stop that.
Hey, 7 rings, man. You gotta have something. He proved he got spice when you throw the Lombardi trophy from a boat to another boat.
That proved he a drunken idiot. That's all that proved. That proved he got no spice.
No, that proved he's spicy guy.
Right.
Nah, I know you got your hate built up in your system. And it's okay. It's okay, because haters gonna hate. Haters are going to hate, but we champ baby. We champ baby. I wish I had my soundtrack. Oh my gosh, I got my soundtrack in here.
TP.
Make the Rockets great again. Bring back a king. Can I get a tea bag or something? God damn.
I didn't think he was gonna go there. That escalated quickly.
You see the hat, man. We've had some struggles.
Oh my. Oh. Well,
we've had some struggles over the past 20 years.
Oh, 20.
20, it's been 26 years.
God.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That reminds me of a Negro spiritual. It's been a long,
got a whole head.
Long time coming. A change gonna come one day.
Yeah. We thought James Harden was the answer. That was a lie.
Oh God.
That was a lie.
He wanted to train the strip clubs. He didn't want to be in shape. That's what's going on with him now.
No, we had Mike there and Tony let these motherfuckers pull up. How we missed 27 threes in a row? Can we talk about that? How do you miss 27 threes? After you missed 5, stop shooting. You missed 10. Now I'm about to start benching folks. You missed 20. Y'all got the 27 missed threes in a row.
The beer man out of the stands is gonna be in the game. Fuck around.
Come on, man. Come on. There's no way that y'all still have the green light after 15 missed threes. Can we get to the paint? Can we drive? Get us some mid ranges, get warmed up, something. That is how you completely blow a series, is missing 27 threes in a row.
The defense don't even gotta play. They just go ahead and shoot, man.
Let's shoot.
Go ahead.
Self-check, what we called it back in the day. It was self-check.
Oh, man. You know what? Last year was a very interesting year. As much as Marlo want to say I got hate in my heart, I don't have no hate in my heart. My Tampa Bay Lightning are doing well. They are doing well.
You got hate back to back. As a matter of fact,
ain't no hate back to back. You wonder why ain't no hate back to back? Because you're gonna hear it first. You're gonna hear it first. This is gonna be the first time in NFL history that a team win every playoff game in overtime and win the Super Bowl. Just win, baby. Just win.
So you saying every game gonna go to overtime?
Every game we play gonna go to overtime. Because we can't win if we ain't in overtime.
Hey, if you put $100 on a prop bet for that, you'll be a millionaire.
Who is the we? Who is we?
Bro, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, you gotta say who we is.
The Raiders. The Raiders.
Nah. People.
If I was the Raiders, I'd be trying to avoid overtime at all costs.
We undefeated in overtime. Undefeated in overtime. What I will say is, what I will say
Patriots
is
went into the Super Bowl 17-0 and left 17-1.
I will say this though. At halftime of that game, I fired everybody on the team, even the trainer, at halftime. And then I looked over and realized that the Cincinnati, like coaching now is just there is no coaching no more. Like what is common sense is no longer common. Like you going for two? Why are you going for two? Why are you going
because
for
some little card
as hardball in Baltimore.
Some little card says that this is the right scenario to go for two. Instead of looking at the flow of the game, they're going by analytics and numbers. They're not coaching. They're basically letting mathematicians dictate how they call plays and how they pretty much call the game. It's all about numbers. That's just like basketball. That's why we missed 27 threes in a row, because somebody said that we have a better chance of winning if y'all just keep shooting. So
all I can tell you,
it ain't no coaching. It ain't no coaching. It's all numbers, man. It's all numbers.
It's crazy. But this is 1 year that I can look at the Raiders and go, they actually got a shot. And it's scary how they got a shot, but they actually got a shot.
That's because everybody else in the AFC is trash.
Who they gonna shoot?
Listen,
the AFC is garbage this year. It's no different. It's up and down. The Chiefs don't play defense. Titans are wishy-washy. The Bengals, they like that, stepchild that just happened to be in the party. Like,
listen, everybody know that Joe Burrow throw that back shoulder fade to Jamar Chase whenever they get in the red zone.
Exactly.
And it get picked off so much. I ain't worried about that. What I'm worried about,
playoffs, they going on.
They going home. The only thing I'm worried about with the Bengals is if they decide that they want to run the ball. That would make me concerned. Everything else, if they want to make it a Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow show, go have at it. Because you're not going to make more plays than Carr. You're just not. And if it get into overtime, I'm telling you, this was going to happen. Zay Jones going to catch a big third down. He going to end up getting somebody going to pass interference when we get close to the end zone. Ball game. It happens every time we go to, it's literally a script. If you go to overtime with the Raiders, don't do these things. And they do the same thing every time.
What if the other team get ball first?
That's the only thing about it. The defense don't play defense until overtime. They got
the overtime rules is different.
Yeah, they got no stops. They force a field goal. And then we come down and we score a touchdown or we get a field goal and they keep rolling. Like I said, there's no way that the Chargers should not be in the playoffs except for the idiot coach.
I'm gonna tell you the problem with all your analytics that you're going through right now. The main problem with all of that is that the Raiders play in Las Vegas. They don't snow like they do in Cincinnati, Ohio this time of year.
So I don't see
It's
nothing
the
about no
problem.
snow.
So what you're saying is there's no
Okay.
home field advantage for playing in Las Vegas,
No.
not by a
Mm.
physical standpoint.
Yeah.
But
But
as far as
when they
the comfortability of being in your home stadium, they have that.
they have that. It's the first year of them playing in the stadium with people.
It is.
Listen,
So
But this
like
this is a thing that goes back, decades. Nobody wanted to play in Lambeau in the playoffs.
nobody.
Dallas Cowboys went up there. It was -10 degrees. The receivers didn't want to catch the ball. Didn't nobody want to hit nobody. They got their ass mopped.
It's a problem. Playing when you are a warm weather team from a warm climate and you go to the cold, you have problems.
Yeah.
we gonna be okay. We was
And,
okay in Baltimore. We gonna be all right.
And then we can fast forward to when the Bears went to the Super Bowl. It was a blizzard, and the New Orleans Saints, who ain't seen snow, Reggie Bush, who's from California, had to come up here and try to run the ball with the monsters of the Midway. And it was a bad day. Pat Tillman, Charles Tillman forced fumble first drive of the game. And you like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a long day for the Saints.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. Like I was praying that we won one of them games against the Saints, so we have a shot to get in them one seed. Because going to Lambeau is an issue
It
for
is.
any team. Going up to Lambeau, yeah.
Well, I just want to say this. It's not an issue if you throw the ball to Scotty Miller and stop putting in all these other people that you brought in off the street.
God.
Get the boy the ball.
Scotty Miller got his flowers last game.
No, he didn't. He was on special teams. They put his.
He got a 33-yard touchdown.
Okay, so I must have left at that point. I must have left at that point.
The Buccaneers have an advantage though, because they have a quarterback who is used to playing in
run the code. Yeah,
they can go play anywhere. They play good defense, and they have a quarterback that's used to playing in bad weather. So that's why when they was talking last year, they was like, "Oh, Pack, they're not losing in Lambeau." I was like, "Do y'all not realize who's coming? Y'all not realize who was coming to Green Bay and what defense he's bringing with him? He bringing Devin White, Lavonte David, and they about to be all over these. They about to be on asses all game. Devontae Adams going to get double teamed every play, and if Arron Rodgers can't find another target, they are going to lose the game, and that's exactly what happened.
I will be honest. I really did not think that the Bucs. I knew about their frontline weapons, but I'm talking about 4 receivers down. You got to do to run a 4-2. They don't have that this year because of obvious reasons. But the fourth receiver is now loose in the secondary and changing the whole script of the game. And that was a game changer last year. This year it's going to be a little bit harder because they have injuries and all this other stuff. But last year, Godwin coming back.
The person who missing is Godwin.
AB coming back.
We'll need AB. We got somebody who ran. Let me tell you, we got 3 people that run 4.3 or better.
That's not what I'm talking about, man. Answer the question. Do y'all have, now that y'all lost AB and Godwin, is y'all 4th receiver running the 4-2?
Absolutely.
Dude, y'all 4th.
I don't think it matters.
Let me tell you. We got Grayson. We got Perriman, and we got Scotty Miller. That's 3.
Don't
And
don't
those
don't,
3,
don't give me Perry. Please don't give me Brashard.
Thank you.
those 3.
Don't give me Perry.
He won the first three.
Sir. That man
Listen.
couldn't catch a cold in December.
He actually he didn't call 3 touchdowns in December.
And that's all he didn't call.
That's,
He ain't called nothing else.
He just got called up off the practice squad
Did you hear that? You hear that part?
when
Yeah.
Garmin went down.
You hear that? He was on the practice
But
squad.
this is his
he
second
was on the
stint
practice
with the
squad
Bucs.
for Reedy.
He wasn't with the organization because he wanted more money. He got brought back.
No, he was off of teams because he couldn't catch. He dropped passes. Wide
Perriman,
open passes.
the end of Jameis Winston's tenure, Perriman was his go-to target.
And y'all
See
don't
how
know.
that worked out for both.
Why he got? Huh?
We see how that worked out for both.
Well, Jameis was.
If
Jameis
Rashard Perriman is your
He's an
number
idiot.
one target,
That was
You
because
already
Mike
know.
Evans and Chris Godwin
already
both had
know.
hamstrings.
just close that like you lost.
Both of them had hamstrings. But we
I'm
act
sorry.
like we went out the end of James' tenure as losers. We ain't do that.
But you say he caught 3 touchdowns. I say even the sun shines on the crack of dog ass every once in a while. Like,
And I'm glad it's shining in Tampa Bay.
Fans, I
'Cause
just
that's
want
where
everybody
we
to
need it shining.
I just want everybody to know it is very difficult to talk about Marlo Bucs. He is very defensive about his Bucs. Full disclosure, I once was a Buccaneer fan, but I earned my parole, so I went somewhere that I felt comfortable.
Hater.
look, I'm not even talking bad about the team. He just tried to give me Rashard Perriman as a liable target. Like, no.
He is. He is a viable target.
I
Now,
gotta stop
mind
you right there.
Mind you, he's not a starter, and he's not going to be a starter because you got Johnson, you got Mike Evans, you got Scotty Miller, you got Grayson.
Right.
He's
But
not
that's
going to
what
be a
I was.
starter.
That's the only thing I was getting pissed off about in the game. Why is Scotty Miller not in the game and Rashard Perriman is?
Because you had Grayson in the game, who is a much better route runner.
Mhm.
He is.
You know what? And if I'm Scotty Miller, like after the season over with, Tom Brady got to give me a head up fade because he went from being a probably $25 million receiver to he might get a $5 million offer next year.
Nah, Scotty, speed kills, bro, in the NFL. Speed kills. That's why Scotty is on special teams. He's on goddamn kickoff. He's on punt.
He ain't getting no 25.
He might not get 25, but he ain't finna get slighted. But why would you go anywhere? Why would Scotty Miller go anywhere?
You think Tom
If
Brady
another
does?
team is offering him a better contract, do
But
you
he
think
not
that
finna
he'll
get
still
more
stay in
money,
Tampa
though.
Bay, or he'll go take that money?
Oh, he not finna get more money. And you have a chance to win another championship.
I mean, he could be. It could be the Cole Beasley effect. Cole Beasley put up some numbers and got him a nice contract somewhere else and didn't do shit. Like,
And then do shit. And that's why Perriman put up some numbers, went to the Jets, didn't do shit. Right back at the Bucs.
he was never.
Now he got a chance to win the damn Super Bowl.
Wasn't he on the Ravens too?
Yeah, he was probably on a couple different teams. He left when Jameis was there.
Yeah, he's not good.
Oh man. But
Y'all gonna get off Perriman. That's an unsung hero right now.
Okay.
Marlo, you just saying that because y'all was in this dog fight and he got loose on a touchdown. And a hope and a prayer was answered, and he scored a touchdown and won the game.
I mean, look,
It all counts.
I'll say this. He is an NFL receiver who runs a 4.3. He should be catching touchdowns.
Thank
The
you.
second, I'm like, if he catches a touchdown, I expect you to do that, you know? But it's all those times where he didn't catch the ball, and it's like, why are you getting paid? Like,
He ain't
what are
dropped
they
no
paying?
balls in Tampa. He ain't dropped no balls that's been thrown to him in Tampa.
He probably only got
I mean,
3 targets.
Have they thrown more than 5 passes to him?
No, he just got signed out the practice squad. Just got signed out the practice squad 3 games ago.
Okay.
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
You gotta see the whole body of work. Like I said, even the sun shines every once in a while.
Well, I'm glad it's shining in Tampa Bay.
I got you.
Tampa.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. The Lightning gonna win another championship before the Bucs do. Yeah, I said it.
How much money you got?
I got 50 on it.
Whoa. Speaking of bets, I bet last year that the Bucs was gonna win it all.
What did we bet? Did we bet a bottle? I think we bet a
Yes,
bottle.
we did.
All right, so I owe you a bottle.
I ain't got my bottle yet.
Anytime a person who's a fan of a team bets on that team to win, y'all don't deserve that extra, bro.
I want my bottle. That's all I'm saying.
You ain't do nothing special but bet on your team, as you should.
And I want my winnings. I want that.
I will get you your bottle. I will get you your bottle.
And he owe me a case of sodas too.
What I owe you a case of soda? Hold on. What I owe you a case of soda for? It's got to be something basketball related.
Hey, bro.
It's got to be basketball related.
I win bets, bro.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure it got something to do with that goddamn LeBron James. If LeBron do not get Melo a championship, I'm gonna have some issues. LeBron gonna have to explain something to me. Like we can't meet on the street. We
21 and 20.
We cannot have no conversations on the street if LeBron don't win, Melo no win.
Expect LeBron to get them a ring.
I'm telling you.
Hold on, time out.
21 and 20.
Hold on, time out. First off, everything was well and fine till LeBron went, you know what? We need another playmaker. You know who we should go get? We should go get Russell Westbrook. The pretty girl that nobody ever want to marry. Like, come on, man.
First of all, this is the only reason why I'm even talking about the LA Lakers. Because back in the day, I enjoyed the Lakers because they was enjoyable to watch, but I'm not a Laker fan. But the only reason why I'm talking about the Lakers right now is because LeBron James said, and I quote, "We are just like the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers."
No, the fuck you not.
We started the season.
Has he been in LA? 3 years.
I'm telling you what he said in a quote. We're like the 2020 this year. We are like the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers because we haven't found our groove yet, but we got all the pieces in place to win a championship.
I will never give Tom Brady a compliment. They do not have a Tom Brady on their squad. Their point guard is Jeff George. I am here to tell you.
Why you say you won't give Brady a compliment?
Fuck Tom Brady. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here?
With this one?
Like, when did we start giving Tom Brady compliments? When did that become a thing? Anyway.
Only because he's like the number one quarterback in the history of the NFL. Tell me where the lad in that.
I'm sorry. Tom Brady is probably 2 or 3.
Who's better?
Behind who? Joe Montana?
Joe Montana.
Who's better?
Joe Montana.
Because he won 3 Super Bowls?
I'm sorry, really? Joe won 4. Joe got 4. He got 4.
But I'm saying he got 4, but Tom got 7.
My issue with Joe Montana is Steve Young took his same team to Super Bowl and won multiple times. So he wasn't the reason they won all those Super Bowls.
What?
He was an important
Wait, I'm sorry.
He was a very important piece.
There were 2 game-winning drives against Boomer Esiason. This man is single-handedly the reason why Boomer will never be in the Hall of Fame. Joe Montana.
That's all fine and dandy.
That's all fine, but he's not.
How many NFL records does Joe Montana have?
None now.
Okay. Who's your number 2?
I'm sorry. him and Terry Bradshaw undefeated in Super Bowls.
That's not a record.
Terry Bradshaw?
But hold on, let me
That's
finish
not
now.
that's not a record.
Terry Bradshaw didn't even pass for 300 yards in the Super Bowl.
Hold on, I said undefeated in Super Bowls. Hold on, let me be clear. I wasn't done, but Marlo wanted to cut me off. Now, to be clear, there is only one quarterback in consecutive Super Bowls that is undefeated and has led game-winning touchdown drives, not field goals. My GOAT scores touchdowns. Your GOAT kicks field goals. There's only one quarterback, 2 Super Bowls in a row, touchdowns. That's Joe Montana.
How many Super Bowls they got?
4. Undefeated.
Okay. Now what
ask you a question.
NFL record does Joe Montana hold?
None now. He been retired. What? Dude, he been retired at least 30 years.
Okay.
At least 30
Who's
years.
your number 2? Who's your number 2?
My number two is a tie. And my number 2 is for a very specific reason. Warren Moon and your boy. Warren Moon, because the NFL refused to draft him.
First of all, which boy? Let's be specific.
Tom Brady. You happy?
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
If the score is tied, does Joe Montana float this duck to the back of the end zone as the white clock?
Oh man, here we go with that.
No, they kick 3.
I'm sorry. I just want to point out that touchdown was scored. That touchdown count. Damn it. And that Super Bowl, his number one wide receiver was motherfucking Ronaldo Nehemiah.
Mm-hmm. How many game-winning drives has Joe Montana led?
I'm not finna sit here and look up these stats. We're not finna do
I
this.
I know how many Tom Brady led that leads the NFL. 67.
67 game-winning drives. All right, and how many of those was field goals and how many was touchdowns?
Game-winning drives.
You do what's required at the end of the game. If you need 3, you go get 3.
Thank you, TB.
If you need 6, go get 6.
Thank you, TB. And my quarterback said we need a touchdown, and they went and got a touchdown. Now, that being said,
did they need a touchdown?
They needed that
touchdown. They needed that touchdown. That was down by 4 against Cincinnati every time. They needed them. They went and got that touchdown.
100%. They kick 3, they lose.
Did they need a touchdown?
Yeah.
But even Joe Montana was saying
that's what they needed.
Wait a minute, what are we talking about here?
He was throwing the ball away.
Hey, that wasn't
matter of fact. No bean.
Tom Brady called Joe Montana to go out of his mouth. What are we talking about?
You respect your elders.
Why would Tom Brady say he's the GOAT?
Because he is the GOAT.
That's disrespect.
Exactly, but why would he say it?
Because
that would be pretentious, right?
Very pretentious.
Hold on, wait.
You just said out your own mouth that he is the GOAT.
Joe Montana is the GOAT.
No. You said that Tom Brady wouldn't say that he's the GOAT because he is the GOAT.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in the doc, Tom Brady said Joe Montana is the GOAT.
Correct.
Okay.
Because why would Tom Brady call himself the GOAT and he's still playing? Do you know what kind of target that puts on you?
That is not for me to. That ain't for me to decide. That's on Tom Brady. Can we get to this other guy that we just always overlook in history? Like several times we look over in history.
Who?
Warren Moon.
He's not in the conversation.
What? Oh wow. What
he's not. He was a great quarterback, but he's not in the conversation.
He was a great quarterback.
The only reason we don't talk about him the way we talk about these other quarterbacks is because the NFL wouldn't draft him. When he retired, he had the most professional yards of any other quarterback in the world.
Who has that now?
What's that dude name?
Drew Brees?
No, it ain't Drew Brees. No, it's a Canadian football player.
No.
Yes, it is. The most professional passing yards is a Canadian football player.
We're talking about the NFL.
And that's why did you not hear me say it's
No,
tied
when Warren
because
Moon went to the Canadian League, he did pass for a lot of yards every year.
and went to five straight Grey Cups.
And then came back to the NFL and played for the Oilers.
No, we're talking about the NFL. Who
Yeah, he played. I'm talking about the Oilers.
the
Him and
greatest
Billy White Shoes, they went to the AFC Championship game.
NFL
Got their ass
quarterback?
whooped, but that's what they made it that far.
The question was, who is the greatest NFL quarterback?
The greatest
all
NFL quarterback is Tom Brady.
I can't even agree with that.
You can't say Warren Moon because he doesn't have the numbers.
No, I can't say that with Warren Moon.
Look, I've never been a Patriot or a Buccaneer fan.
You cannot say Joe
really
Montana
don't
because
even
he
like
does
Tom
not have the
Brady.
numbers.
But he got all my respect. Like he's the greatest to ever do it. I don't like him, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay homage where it's due.
And I don't even understand why Troy don't understand this.
This isn't a debate.
I don't. I wasn't before Tom Brady came to Tampa.
Let me
I was not a Tom Brady fan.
I want winners.
Tom Brady's not a winner.
I want winners.
Who
Tom
in
Brady
the
has
history
more Super Bowl
of
than any other
Super Bowl,
quarterback?
it did any other quarterback in the history of the NFL.
So if we are going to, and I hate doing this because I feel like I've been taking jabs at LeBron, but I'm not trying to take a jab at LeBron. It makes sense if the albatross around his neck is that he lost to Eli twice. Forget the one that he lost to Nick Foles. That is a throwaway because that defense was outstanding. I don't even count that one. But he lost to Eli twice.
Okay.
And people acting like Eli is not that dude, and it's not true.
If we're gonna put it in perspective, let's put it in perspective. Tom Brady has been in the NFL for how many years? 20.
20.
How many Super Bowls have he competed in?
What is it? 12? 9? Oh, that's LeBron.
No.
How many?
No. He's won 7. And he's lost how many?
10.
He lost 3.
He's lost 3. So 50% of his time in the NFL, he has been in a Super Bowl game. What other quarterback can say that?
These are facts.
Okay. Don't worry, I'll wait.
You can wait all you want to. That is
don't
not
worry,
what I'm
I'll
saying.
wait. You cannot say he ain't the GOAT, bro.
He's not. Wait a minute. Wait. When did you start calling him the GOAT? When did you start calling him the GOAT?
You don't recall our last year podcast when he came to Tampa, and I said I wanted Teddy Bridgewater over him, but he's the GOAT, and you and Theo argued me down that he wasn't. Y'all gave all these ancillary facts about this person, that person, Warren Moon. He played the professional years, and dude, at the time of your argument, he had 6 Super Bowl rings.
But here's a question though. If we go back and we look at every one of his Super Bowls, if there's no helmet catch, they lose that game. If Malcolm Butler doesn't jump that pick, they lose that game. It's kind of hard to just say that he's the reason they won all of their Super Bowls. But I'm not trying to take nothing away from him.
Hold on.
But it's just, I'm just saying, you were saying that he let Eli beat him twice. He didn't play. It wasn't Tom Brady versus Eli. It was Tom Brady versus the Giants defense.
And I will make this. I'm about to give him a break. This time, it's the only time I'm gonna give him a break. I am not sitting here saying that Tom Brady is the reason that they lost. I'm saying that the loss happened. Just like I don't get like Matt Ryan, Matty Ice. Why are we calling him Matty Ice? He had Tom Brady.
Who called him that?
He had.
They called him. He was at Boston College. The first game I ever watched. They was like Matt Ryan. Then he had to come from behind touchdown to win the game. And he was like, he got ice in his veins. Matty Ice. Look at him, and then the name just stuck, I guess.
He beat Florida State.
That's what it was.
He beat Florida State. So the same
You're
thing I
not
give
you're
him.
not
Hold
comparing
on.
Matt Ryan to Tom Brady.
You're not listening. You're gonna let me finish. I hold the one thing I'm gonna always hold against Matt Ryan is the fact that, unlike Tom Brady, when he saw a bad play come in, he did not change it. And by not changing the plays, he changed the course of history and ruined the Super Bowl for a team who had earned the Super Bowl. Now,
28-3 was the
on
score.
exactly on the flip side of that, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and probably another Aaron Rodgers. There's a few quarterbacks that call their own plays John Elway in this day and age. In the era of Tom Brady, him losing Super Bowls, it is a standard that he set, and I'm sorry he set that standard, but it's unacceptable. It would be the same way if on that second game, that second Super Bowl against Cincinnati, if Joe Montana loses that second Super Bowl, we are now having different discussions when it comes to greatest quarterbacks.
But I don't think that doesn't.
This is literally the dumbest conversation I've had.
Him losing 2 Super Bowls, you can't expect him to go out and tackle and play defense, and he has to be the one to stop the other team from scoring. Because in like most of his Super Bowl wins, it came down to him having the ball last. And if the situation of the game is whoever has the ball last wins, and Tom Brady is not the one that has the ball last, he's lost those Super Bowls.
And whereby I say that there is a clutch gene with some quarterbacks that other quarterbacks don't have. Tom Brady does have that. Steve Young has that. Joe Montana has that. There is exactly. They're rare, and I will even go so far as to say we are having again a totally different conversation if Jim Kelly wins 2 of those Super Bowls.
Jim Kelly did not have the trait at all.
We can't blame Jim Kelly for that. Kick the missed 2 of them. The kick the missed 2 of them.
We're having a conversation that nobody else in the sports world would dare to have.
And that's why we had this podcast, goddammit.
You're debating that a person who has been in a Super Bowl game 50% of his time in the league, when there's no other quarterback that can begin to come close to those numbers, and winning 7 of them, I might add, winning 7 Super Bowls, being in the Super Bowl game 50% of the time he's been in the league. You saying he's not the greatest quarterback of all time?
They were not only having the greatest quarterback of all time 10 years ago.
I don't even understand why
he only had 3 rings.
I'm not having this debate. And the reason I'm gonna start having this debate because I realize that I'm kicking Marlo in his heart, and I'm gonna stop because I know 2 years ago you was not saying that Tom Brady was the GOAT. You were saying the same thing that most people in our generation say. Undefeated is undefeated.
2 years ago, Tom Brady didn't have 7 Super Bowls.
2 years ago, Tom Brady had more. He had 6. So again, I say, until Tom Brady showed up at one Bucs place, you weren't saying that.
Oh my God!
Tom Brady showed up
before Tom Brady took a snap in Tampa Bay. We can go back to the podcast. You, me, and Theo had an argument, and I said Tom Brady was the GOAT.
Before or after he signed with the Bucs?
Before he took a snap.
I said before or after he signed with the Bucs. That's what I'm talking about. Before he signed or after he signed?
Oh my God.
I need the answer to that one.
I wait.
Before he signed with the Bucs, was the question ever brought up, who's the greatest quarterback?
No, we wasn't talking about who the greatest quarterback was.
We never talked about it. But after he signed with the Bucs, the conversation came up in our podcast, and I said what? He was the greatest. Before he took a snap, before it was preseason anything, I said Tom Brady was the best quarterback in the NFL.
So let me just get a little clarity here. So you're saying that you had to see this. You didn't without the snap. So the 19 years that he already put in didn't matter.
Not 19.
He
18.
You
But we
talk
never
about
had the question broached. Nobody ever said who's the greatest quarterback in any of our podcasts.
but what
Who's the
does
greatest
him taking
quarterback
the
in
snap
the NFL?
have to do with anything? The
We
second
never talked about it. This is
okay,
my
so it just
point.
hadn't been talked. So the timing was bad.
The question had never been asked who's the greatest quarterback in the NFL
Okay.
in our group.
So it's the timing of the question that makes
When
it look
they
like
brought the question, it wasn't me who brought the
no,
question
I know,
up.
I know. You said
They brought the
somebody
question
asked
up, and I answered it. I said Tom Brady, and I didn't even want Tom Brady in Tampa. I wanted Bridgewater
Yeah, that was
because I
that
thought
was
he would have a longer season.
I would say that you did say you wanted Teddy Bridgewater because I said Teddy wasn't coming, and you did say you wanted Teddy Bridgewater. So I will agree
said
with that.
I wanted Teddy Bridgewater over Tom Brady
I did.
because I feel he would have a longer career, and we're looking for a franchise quarterback.
Do you still feel that way?
Hell no, he don't feel that way. He ain't gonna crick his mouth to say that. Come on now. He calling Tom Brady to go before he even got into a uniform.
Before Tom Brady came to Tampa, I felt he was the best quarterback in the NFL in history, only because his body of work.
He's not the best quarterback in the NFL though. Not right now.
I'm saying in history.
All right.
He is the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, but he is not the best quarterback.
We're gonna run long because
TP.
We're gonna run long because TP brought it up. So Aaron Rodgers has me conflicted. And here's why Aaron Rodgers has me conflicted. We were brought up in that golden age of football where storylines mattered, characters mattered. All of these things began to formulate our opinion of a player. Now we're in the social media era and we have more access to players, their opinions, their thoughts, and all of this stuff. Aaron Rodgers is just a fucking idiot, and he went to Cal. Like, that's supposed to be an institution of higher learning, and he is literally a fucking idiot. But on that football field, he make magic happen. I am conflicted every time I think about Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what y'all think. Y'all tell me what y'all
think. I think Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Ain't no confliction. If we talking about off the field, I don't know how he get down at his house. But on the football field, who on the field?
You're a bad boy. The thing about Aaron Rodgers is he has the clutch trait. It just ain't activated all the
time. So here's why. Here's my confliction. So Marlo, no TP, you don't know this. Marlo know this. We were on our path to being media credentialed by the Buccaneers, and somehow or another, somebody may have bullied a 340-pound defensive lineman by the name of Gerald McCoy. I can't validate that, but that book was floating around at the time when we kind of got canceled.
Floating around. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you don't put it out there in the streets, you might as well own up to it. Because if Gerald McCoy roll up on you, I want to hear, oh, it wasn't me. It was Marlo. It wasn't me. No, that was all you.
First off, if Gerald McCoy rolled up on me,
he overpaid. I don't even know how he get all this money to the Bucs get fleeced. That was you.
I'm sorry. He let everybody run up the A gap. Was I wrong? My Raiders had a field day on the Buccaneers that week.
Again.
All I'm saying is
don't point, try to pass the buck. It was yo.
At one point, we were about to be credentialed by the Buccaneers. And so had we been credentialed by the Buccaneers in this age, and I've been at an interview and just having casual conversation with Aaron Rodgers because I'm under the impression that he's vaccinated and he's not, I'm going to have an issue. So much so that one reporter had an issue like he's an asshole and I won't vote for him for MVP. And I think he is valid in his feelings because it wasn't like Aaron Rodgers was telling them lies about the play call. Aaron Rodgers was literally, I don't want to say lying, but misleading people about his status that he was safe and healthy when people were in the room with him. That's a major issue health wise because these aren't like young reporters. Most of these beat reporters are older.
You know what my thing is about? We about to take this to a whole nother topic about vaccinations and all that. The vaccine does not stop you from getting it or
no, not the vaccine. I wasn't. It's not an issue about his vaccination, getting or not getting vaccinated. It was the playing with the hey, are you vaccinated?
But it
are you safe? Because if there were other players that flouted the protocol that got suspended, and he did not. And the only reason he did not was because the NFL failed on their end, the Green Bay Packers failed on their end.
I think it's just a control issue. They try to tell you what to do, and if you don't do what they tell you, then it's a problem. The thing about the vaccination is if you don't have it, it's not going to change whether, like if you have it, it's not going to change whether or not you get it. It only lessens your chances of dying.
Yeah.
That's what the vaccine does. So anybody that's afraid of somebody for not having the vaccination clearly don't understand that they can get the same thing from somebody that is vaccinated. The only difference is if you do have the vaccine, then you're not at such a greater risk of death from the virus. That's what the vaccine does.
Yeah, and I'll let you go, Marlo. But my whole thing was that it wasn't even about that so much. Is with reporters, with media and reporters, there is a trust and a give and take that is normally expressed between the two parties. That was kind of broken with Aaron Rodgers because of the misleading, not necessarily his politics on it. It was this misleading.
I agree.
And that's where the jerk comments and all of that came from. That's where that energy came from. And that was
my biggest problem with all the vaccine and vaccination and all of that is the science is if you follow the science, you're less likely to die being vaccinated than unvaccinated. You're less likely to have severe symptoms if you're vaccinated and unvaccinated. The recovery time is a lot faster if you're vaccinated than you're unvaccinated. All of that leads to if I'm spending multiple millions of dollars on you, you are the face of my franchise, and you take it upon yourself to put everybody in the organization at risk for not just on your own personal thing, but as a team, you not being available via you catch it and die or catch it and get deathly ill and have all of these post COVID symptoms and can't perform on a high level, you put everybody in this organization at risk because the NFL is a win now league. Like you look at these organizations that don't win and have all these issues, and then even because of COVID, they're not winning. And like the Jacksonville Jaguars at one point had 7 number 1 draft picks on their defense, and got this close from going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they lost to the Steelers, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, the team was dismantled. It's an organizational thing. Now they're labeled as losers
because they lost. They got the number 1 seed
because they lose.
Yeah,
and it's a culture, but it affects not only the team, but you know how much a city put into an organization. Like the Green Bay Packers, if Aaron Rodgers don't play, they don't go nowhere.
Right.
That's fact. They don't go anywhere because that youngster ain't ready.
But
not for them.
We in a weird age where you have to make people get this vaccine, right? You know.
I don't even think you have to make them.
What if you're a person who 100% does not trust it?
Don't get it, but by you not getting it,
you got to disclose it. That's if
top of that, you have to agree to accept every responsibility that comes with you not getting the vaccine.
There it is. That's the answer I was looking for. You have to be
You have
ready
to.
accept the consequences of you not taking
And
it, and be man enough about it to where
and
you're
stand
not
on that. Yes, sir.
misleading people.
And I don't, like I said, Aaron Rodgers he's just the biggest name, so it's the easiest one to throw out there. Cole Beasley started out the season all crazy, talking wild and stuff, and then shut his mouth. Kyrie,
Right, nobody care about Cole Beasley.
And you brought up Kyrie Irving.
He can't even play in the home games.
Kyrie Irving's situation, the reason I have zero sympathy for Kyrie Irving's situation is because before all of this, Kyrie was a player rep.
Yeah.
Kyrie had the ability to go, hey, we don't agree with this, or we do agree with this. They, as a union, agreed with the testing, the protocols as a union. He had the ability.
That everyone in the union agreed.
Oh, no, I'm not saying they all agreed, but just like a railway worker, when you enter into when you enter in a union, you enter in as brothers. One of the things that I used to say about the NFL all the time is that they had the weakest union, because as brothers, as soon as some kind of strife happened, they would go their separate ways, or like, for instance, the strikes. Now, more so than before, they are unified more now. But you have these, exactly, you have these outliers, and I use Cole Beasley as an outlier example of like, no, I'm not going to abide by this. Well, dude, you have to abide by this because you signed a contract for the collective bargaining. You can go back in later on and say, hey, this affected this. And I'm sure there's going to be some changes. And NBA owners and NFL owners, because they lost a lot of money, are going to be like, hey, if we change all of this stuff, we want, X, Y, and Z in return. And the baseball.
See, here's the thing. It's always about the money.
Oh, yeah.
Always. Oh,
absolutely.
Anytime you see there's an issue, there's strife, somebody don't like what they doing, they don't like this issue, or we got a problem with this, is because they're losing money.
Major League Baseball. The reason Major League Baseball is on strike out of season is because the players have said, hey, what you're not going to do is this. It's the service contracts to where they can leave them in minor leagues for half a season or a quarter of a season and bring them up and get another 2 years. That's why they're on strike. The money isn't the issue. It is about money because it's contract related.
Right.
It's going to be a hard argument for major league players to make when they have players making $50 and $60 million a year
out of their prime. Of their prime.
It's like that argument. It's not gonna hold water. Like the strike's not gonna work. Like the football is already the dominant sport. They'll just lose more money, and then they won't get these max deals no more.
Baseball they're not played. They're not
going to be played. No, that's the dumbest thing ever.
Albert Pujols is the example of why Major League Baseball contracts are like upside down.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of his career, he signed a contract that he probably should have signed at the beginning of his career. Because the last 6 years of his career, I'm not saying he trash. If you hang one out there, he gonna crush it to the fence. But he ain't. No, he ain't no spring chicken either.
Man, you got some of these young cats that are coming with more defensive prowess and offensive prowess than Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
And so why are we paying so much? So then the question becomes, why are we paying them so much?
Exactly. And that's why their strike, they ain't gonna hold water.
Because they're the strongest union out of everybody. They are literally the strongest union.
And then there's
basketball.
No cap in baseball. They don't
basketball
have a salary cap.
Basketball has the strong machine. Baseball don't.
Wow.
I think the only reason that you would even look at it that way is because they don't have a salary cap. They can pay these guys however much they want. Which
They-
is why they don't have the collective bargaining issues that the NFL has. Because you have only so many. You have 55 players on the NFL team.
And that's why. And that's why basketball has a stronger union.
There's only 15, 12 starters, and 3 reserves. You only got to worry about paying 15 people. That's easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But their union mandated guaranteed contracts. Their union mandated, like this whole dress code issue thing came up. It quietly went into the night.
Mm-hmm.
Because these players was like, we ain't doing that shit. Baseball, you show up at Yankee Stadium, your ass got to be clean shaven, and you ain't gonna have your name on the back of your jersey. Try that in the basketball arena.
That's tradition.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, try that in the basketball arena. Wouldn't work. It won't work.